Hey, women in the Word, we are back again for day 12 of our 52 weeks in the Bible. And today we are in the book of Genesis. We are reading chapters 20 and 21, and it's a continuation of the story of Abraham. And it's an exciting read. This is Abraham having an opportunity again to come through with trusting God, especially concerning his relationships with other people and everything. But guess what? Abraham again lied. He let fear guide his decisions. If you look at verse 2 of Genesis chapter 20, the Bible talks about the fact that Abraham lied again that Sarah was his sister. And King Abimelech had to suffer for it. He was the one who suffered for Abraham's indiscretion. But God is such a faithful God. Even in spite of all of this, God still came through, was faithful even with Abraham's unfaithfulness. So chapter 20, I highlighted verse 2, talking about Abraham lying about Sarah. And one thing that I learned from here is that I'm just so excited and so glad that we are not alone in our inadequacies. We're not alone in our failures. Abraham, a patriarch of faith, as the Bible describes him, still had his flaws, right? And then verse 17, we see that God still intervened even though Abraham had lied. God still intervened. God still used Abraham as a prophet to bless the household of Abimelech. Because in the time that Sarah was there, his wife, his female servants couldn't have children. So Abraham prayed for them. Just think about it, like Sarah must have been with them for a while. Right? Sarah must have been with them for a while, because if it's noted that they couldn't have children, it must have been, you can't just say somebody is barren or they're infertile if you've not had time to observe the situation. So I'm so glad that God still intervened, and Abimelech and his household, his wife and their household, were able to have children, even in spite of the fact that Abraham was deceitful. Right, and then we go to chapter 21. Verse 1 talks about the fact that God kept his word and did exactly what he had promised Abraham. And verse 2 talks about the fact that it happened at the time that God said it would happen. I also have here my highlights in verse 9, and I have here that no matter how long, anything done in the flesh rears its ugly head in the future. See how Isaac was now being taunted by Ishmael. A problem of years ago has come back to haunt, right? And verse 12, he just reminds me that how God is such a faithful God. He was still with Abraham, even in spite of all his mistakes. And verse 17, Hagar ran away. Well, she was driven away now, but this was a second encounter with an angel. Remember the first time that she ran away because of how Sarah treated her. But God is still with her. God is with the downtrodden, the marginalized people. He's there, showing up for disadvantaged people all the time. And he will show up for us too, no matter where we find ourselves. And then verse 33, this was when Abimelech had come to ask Abraham to come into covenant with him. And Abraham had done that. He had asked Abimelech to get him back his well and all those things. The Bible records that Abraham worshipped God, and that was so powerful. Abraham worshipped God, even in spite of all that had happened. And my truth from today is that I should not let fear rule my decisions. I'm in good company, and God is with me. God keeps his word, and I should keep worshiping God no matter what may happen. I also learned that God is and will always be my greatest advocate, and he should be the one in whom I place my ultimate trust. God may not remove the obstacles in my way on my journey, but guess what? He will always reveal himself through them. And that we can see that from how God interacts